And I want to show you a story that shocked the heck out of me. And this is why I'm bringing Daniel on here. I'm going to bring it up on the screen and show you. Take a look at that. Lab-grown meat. It just shocked me. The FDA actually approved lab-grown meat. Are any of you going to be eating meat that's grown out of a lab? I don't think I'm going to. But it made me think about getting your own chickens, getting your own, I don't know if you can get your own cattle. Some people could, farmers. Growing your own vegetables, that sort of thing. So, it's a good idea, I think. So anyway, that's why I'm going to have Daniel come in here in a minute. And if for those of you who are watching right now, if you are supporters to my locals channel, you can go ahead and continue watching. If you're not, go ahead and sign up and you can do so. So let me remove this from the screen here and add Daniel. There you go. Hello, sir.
Hello.
So you're in Michigan, right? Or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I saw this article about lab-grown meat, and I said, "What the hell?" I hear your little one in the background.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so your little one's not going to be eating anything grown in a lab, probably.
Absolutely not.
So what's the deal with like a lot of people think they got to buy whatever out there, but now do you have chickens?
I have chickens, I have ducks, and I'm in the process of buying pigs next.
Okay, well, I got on the screen, and that's okay. The little one can come watch it if she wants. On the screen right now, I got pictures of. Oh, there you go. Oh, dinner time. What are we looking at in this? Oh, hello there. What is on the screen? I see a duck. What you got? How many do you got right there?
In the one picture with the ducks, there's probably 15 I think right now we have roughly 70 ducks, 7 geese, and around 40 chickens. And then the other picture is a chicken laying on eggs, so she can hatch her own to keep our process going. So we're not using incubators. We're kind of letting Mother Nature do its own thing.
Okay. Now, are you doing this for you? Are you selling it, or is it just for the family to be healthy?
Just for the family. I don't really care for store-bought meat. I was kind of raised in a homestead kind of way when I was growing up. And then I kind of fell off for a while. But as I got older, now I got concerned about all the things they're putting in our foods and what we're putting on our table. And also the way animals are treated at factory farms. I kind of want to be a little more ethical with my animals, them to have a better life while they're alive instead of being in a cage. I want them to be able to experience a full, happy life.
I don't think people, I don't even know. I'm assuming animals like at these big farms where, not even the farm, the big corporate, they probably don't even give a damn what the animals are treated like.
No, not at all. And in fact, you'll see where they'll die from different heat exhaustions. They'll cram as many as they can into a small space. But most of them don't even see the light of day. They stay inside these big barns with ventilation. That's about it. And I'm not okay with that. I want my animals to be raised happy. I want them to be able to see the light of day. I want them to experience the grass, eating bugs, and living more of a natural lifestyle.
Yeah, someone just said farm-grown chicken is 100% better than getting it from the store, because what do they do at the store? Because they ship it, they need to put stuff in it to keep it preserved, right?
Yep.
And
they also, I've seen videos where they inject them with different things to make them look bigger and give them a whole different eye-appealing look. And to me, I don't know what they're putting in there. I'm not putting that in my body.
No, and that's the thing. And when I saw the thing about the where it is, here it is, the lab-grown meat, I thought it was a joke, but the FDA actually approved it to have lab-grown meat. And I'm like, I know. I used to be on TV news and I wasn't allowed to give my opinion. I'll give my opinion now. There is no way in heck I'm gonna eat lab-grown meat. But the problem is, I hope we will know. Like if we go to a restaurant in 10 years, I hope we know if it's real meat or fake meat.
I think the only way that's going to happen is if people put in a big enough demand to know what's in it, and where it comes from. There are some restaurants you can go to, and they'll tell you they buy it from local farms. And as long as we support
So
those type of restaurants, they're going to be the ones that thrive.
I didn't know that. So when you go to a restaurant, you can ask, hey, where do you get it from?
Yep. And some restaurants actually say, hey, we get this from a local farm down the road, or we get this from, a farm in another county.
When did you start? You said you kind of grew up like this, but have you always had even as a kid, I guess, around your own animals?
And growing up as a kid, we definitely had our own. And then I fell off for a while, kind of worked a lot, didn't really want to maintain it. And then around 2010, I was actually living in the city then, and I wasn't supposed to have birds, but to raise chickens for meat, some of the breeds they have only take 8 weeks. So I built little tractors that I could move them around the yard in, and no one knew about them and no one complained. And I raised my own meat right there in the city.
Nice. And I'm going to be honest, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get better. I had McDonald's this afternoon, and honestly, I feel horrible right now. My body feels like yuck because I haven't had it for a long time. I did today, but when I eat like real meat, I don't feel that way.
No.
I mean,
there's a whole difference. Like I can't eat store-bought meat. It will make me sick to my stomach.
Is that because you're so used now to the real stuff?
Yep. I mean, even locally, I buy even my beef because we aren't raising cattle yet. I will be doing that probably next spring. I'll do a rotational with my animals. But I have friends that raise their own meat, different farms all through the state of Michigan, and they sell their beef. And I will go buy it from them, especially if I know what they're feeding their cattle.
What does it taste like to actually have it without any chemicals or preservatives? Does it taste that much better?
Oh yeah, and think about it this way. Think about the most tender slice of meat you've ever had.
Ooh.
And that's what it's like because it's not tough, it's not gritty, and it just has a whole different flavor. You use a whole lot less seasonings on it.
That caught my eye recently. What really caught my eye was that the FDA actually approved meat grown from a lab, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And I was just shocked. Did you hear about that earlier last week or whenever it was?
Oh yeah, last week I saw an article on it and I was absolutely shocked. But at the same time, I see some of the stuff that the FDA approves, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not even okay.
And I don't know and I'll ask, I mean, you're big into growing your own meat. What's the purpose of this? Is it I know some say climate change, but I don't know where they're going with this.
Well, maybe it is climate change. Maybe it's to keep up with the high amount of consumer. Maybe it's because they can make this lab-grown meat last longer in the store. And so it's actually better for corporate America than it is for the consumer.
Yeah, because it should be about what is best for our health. But as we know that with government at times, that's not always not always the thing.
Exactly.
My dad always taught me it's about money. And it said he passed away, but he said everything in life comes down to money, whether you like it or not. And it's sad. Big business, government, it's money.
Yeah.
With you, now you live in an area where they allow to have, let me bring the picture up again, where you have chickens, you have so forth. You live in an area where they allow it now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I specifically chose where I live just because I have no neighbors and it is a very, very rural area.
Okay. Are you seeing more people out there doing something like you're doing? I'm having more people ask me, how do I do this? How do I get involved? Are you hearing more people are trying to do this?
Oh, absolutely. So I remember years ago when a lot of cities and municipalities didn't allow people to raise chickens. And then the big movements came. The Right to Farm Act got overturned in the state of Michigan. And certain counties, like I was shocked, Ortonville started to allow people to raise a certain amount of hens, no roosters, so people could have their own eggs. So a lot of municipalities are starting to be more welcoming to people raising their own chickens at the very least. And that's huge. Like it's a growing movement that in the last decade or so has changed drastically. I mean, there were years where some municipalities still don't allow them, but a lot more do allow it.
Yeah, and I notice a lot of people are leaving, well, the city life and trying to live in rural areas. That's why I know like a lot of people are buying up land and many areas like in northern Michigan or even out in the thumb, people are moving to places where they can do it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big population boom in rural areas, and we're going to have a crisis there, and it's going to start becoming more urban, which is when we're going to come into the problems of people saying, "Well, I don't want to smell the cows, and I don't want to hear your cows, and I don't want to, hear your chickens crowing and all your birds making noise." And a lot of people will complain about that stuff, but for some of us this is a way of life and how we want to live and do things for our family. Like my manure from my animals goes on my garden and helps me grow the vegetables, and so we can can our own, not just can our own meat, but can our own vegetables and try to live as naturally as we can.
Why is that important to you?
For my health and mainly for my children's health. I don't want them to grow up thinking, oh, it's okay to go get fast food. And also financially, it's cheaper for us to do things this way and gives us more money to go on vacations and do other things and put away for college. A lot of us live in this fast lane of, okay, well, we'll just go to the store and grab this. Well, look what happened during COVID. How many people couldn't go to the store and get it? And then they were struggling. Well, I didn't have a problem with it because I had everything right here at home.
Yeah, and it gets expensive. Like I told you earlier, I was at McDonald's. I said I wouldn't do it again, but I did. I slipped up, but it was like $9 just for me for one little stupid hamburger. Um, yeah, so you find it's also like you have probably enough eggs. You don't need to go to Kroger and get eggs probably ever, do you?
Never, never. We have enough birds where we get an average of 3 to 5 dozen eggs a day.
Wow. Do you even use them all, or do you sell them or give them to other people?
I do give some away, and then I've learned about a technique called water glassing where you can store eggs for up to a year. So in the
Wow.
winter, egg production is a lot lower. So you store them, and then in the winter, you can pull them out and have them all winter long when the egg production is a lot lower because the days are shorter.
I had no idea. Damn. Okay. What advice would you have for someone who's watching? The average person, how would you even get started? Do you start small, like get a couple chickens and then work your way up? I know the group that I found you in, there's a Facebook group and there's like 10,000 people on it and it's growing. How would you tell people to try to get started? Just start out small?
One, I would link up with somebody that already has chickens and ask them if you could help them take care of them and kind of learn about them. There's a lot of different things about chickens you need to know, the different diseases, different ways to house them, how much room they need, how to keep them happy. And people are more than happy to help you out. And say you live somewhere where you can't. There's also farm shares where you can be like, hey, I'll purchase the chickens and I'll help take care of them on your property and we can split the eggs.
Really?
And that's even a
Explain that
good way to
again.
go for people.
So I didn't even know anything
So a
about
farm
that.
share,
So yeah, explain that
a
because
farm
I live
share,
in.
basically like
No, go ahead.
in an area where you can't have them.
Yeah.
So like here, I have some friends that live in a trailer park and they can't have livestock. So I told them, I said, hey, if you guys want to have them, you can house them here. You come take care of them. And then say if it's the chickens, they'll give me a percentage of eggs. So they give me, if they have 10 chickens, I'll be like, all right, give me 5 to 7 eggs a week or buy me a bag of chicken feed. And then they can have their chickens out here. They get all their own eggs, help, and then I'm here to help them say, okay, these chickens need this, they need that, they need this, they need that, and help them learn how to raise them and take care of them. And then say if they get to a point where they can have them themselves, they can come get them and take them with them. Or as they get older, I can be like, all right, those chickens are ready to go in the freezer.
I had no idea. So even if you're at an area where they don't allow it, still there's options even then. That Facebook group is probably a perfect place to be.
Absolutely is. And there's actually a lot of different farm swap and Facebook groups where people are more than willing to help. It's a huge community. And Facebook, My only thing I really care about with Facebook is that it's brought people together on certain aspects, especially farmers and other people, to help each other and bring us together, and become one big community.
I'm looking at it right now. This is the Michigan backyard chickens. And yeah, social media can be really bad, but with this, it can be really good. I interviewed a woman maybe about a year ago when I used to work at the TV station. I found her in this group as well. And I think there's like 10,000 people in this, maybe. I think so. So if someone wanted to start out or was interested, heck, they could just join this group and just start talking to people, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they could make a post and say, "Hey, I'd like to learn about chickens." You'll find everything you need to know. People volunteer information, things that, I mean, I've been raising chickens my whole life, and I still learn something new every day from people on here.
Wow. And I have a feeling the more and more I'm just scrolling some of the pictures on this Facebook group, the more and more you start seeing stuff about lab grown meat, people are going to start getting at least frustrated and maybe, I don't know about not trusting, but that's not what I'm used to. I think you're going to see more people. That Facebook group's probably grown, right? More people are going to be into this.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's going to grow exponentially over the next even 6 to 8 months, I'd say.
Wow, someone just told me here she'd like to have her own little farm. There's a woman in the comments saying she's disabled but can't have a farm. But like you said, she could actually maybe get with someone that does have one and work out a deal or purchase a chicken, but not living at the farm. There's ways to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I thought okay, so I'm not the only one that was out of my mind when I saw about the lab grown meat. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
And what are they going to make it out of?
Yeah, and it was the cells from the chicken, or I don't know. How are you expanding? You said you're actually going to get like a cow or cattle or pigs.
So I'm going to do what's a rotational thing. So in the summer, this summer was all chickens, ducks, and geese, to help fill freezers up. I'm buying 3 pigs here next month, and I'll raise them through to the spring, and then process those. And then I'll get a calf and raise that up for about a year, and then process that. And then the next year I'll start over with pigs again and chickens.
How much? I don't even know. How much does one pig cost to buy a pig?
Anywhere from $50 to $200.
But
and that's for a piglet.
What you can get from that pig, though, how much meat can you get from a fully grown? Quite a bit, I'm assuming.
It depends on the breed. Some breeds you'll get anywhere from 100 pounds to 300 pounds. Some a little bit more.
Wow. Yeah. And if you had to buy 100 to 300 pounds at a grocery store, you're paying more than $50 to $100 for sure.
Oh yeah, and the time you spend on them is, I mean, you spend quite a bit of time taking care of them. But at the end of the day, when you get to look at your freezer full of meat and you're not having to stress out, there's a sense of pride in there that no one can ever take from you.
And you're not having to deal with this on the screen, lab grown meat. You're not going to be reliant on what's at the grocery store and to not know if you're going to run into lab grown meat. You know what you have, and what you have is your own stuff. You grew it. You raised it.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So,
and it was raised healthy and happy.
Yeah, and that matters. Does or let me ask you, does it matter if the animal's happy?
And in my opinion, absolutely does. I feel the cruelty-free way makes a big difference. I mean, the meat's tender because they're happy. They weren't stressed out the whole time. They're not releasing certain chemicals into their meats and muscles. And I think it makes a very big difference in the animal, and that produces bigger animals.
You're right. I worked in North Carolina, and I covered a story after a hurricane. There was a pig farm, some big company, and they had like thousands of them just squished all together. And I don't even know how they were breathing in there, the pig, but it was just like all really tight. They were all dead, because it was a hurricane had come through, but it was disgusting what the company, whatever company it was, but they were just all pushed together. Obviously, they weren't happy pigs.
No, I mean, who would be happy living like that?
No. Wow. Okay. So the more this happens, you're going to see more people. And it seems like you're the type of guy, if someone was to message you, you'd be willing to give them advice and, tell them, help them out.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd give them a step by step and help them every step of the way. I said, even if somebody wanted to share, I'd go ahead, set a building up and get going.
Even someone like me, a city boy who grew up in Metro Detroit, even if I don't know anything, I can take, if I want to take the time to learn, I could still do it.
We all start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Okay.
And none of us are better than anybody else.
True. And we all make mistakes. Let me see. I'm just going to check if anyone has any questions in the chat. Someone just said it's a lot of work, but so rewarding as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Someone just said this, it's the smell of money by doing it yourself, the amount of money you're saving. So you're saving lots of money.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're putting in a lot of your own hard labor, but you're saving a lot of money in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell the family I said hello, the little one there, and I'll make this out. I'll give you the video, the link later on a YouTube link, but I just wanted to come on and to let people know that they can do this, and about the Facebook group, because people are getting frustrated with the chemicals and the craziness going on with food, because a lot of people now, they don't trust anything. And if you do it yourself, you trust yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I'll send you a link later tonight, but I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
Okay. Thank you. Wow. There you go, everyone. Yeah, that was really cool. I wanted to talk to him because I saw that earlier in the week, this story right here. I saw this story about lab grown meat, and I'm like, what the hell? Lab grown meat? I don't think so. So I'm trying to bring interviews and things that you do not see anywhere else. And when's the last time on CNN or Fox or MSNBC you saw an interview like that? And basically, I was going into detail about what you need to do if you would like to raise your own pig or your own cow, your own, whatever it is. So that's a really cool guy right there. And I'm going to put a link up to this Facebook group. I know we all hate Facebook at times, but Michigan Backyard Chickens, that's the name of the Facebook group. And if you're interested in doing this, you can get on there and you can get involved and learn from others.